All right. Welcome to our Memorial Day show. It is Memorial Day. We're celebrating our Memorial Day, rather, and with this show, bringing it to you. And so I'm excited to be here with you.
Yeah. What's up, Jeff?
It's I'm back in the saddle with you, man. It was fun to be doing our last show with Aaron's Acres, and it's going to be fun to do this show with Off the Streets.
Yeah, man. This is really a special show today. We're going to be joined in a little bit by Jim Dornes, incoming president of Off the Streets, one of our favorite nonprofits here in Lancaster. This show, we're almost at our 200th episode, and we've featured well over 100 nonprofits on this show. And Off the Streets has been on before. And of course, they're very near and dear to our hearts here at Gardner's with our mattress donations. And we're going to have a great conversation with Jim and really talk, highlight them and share a special presentation that they presented to us at Gardner's and some of our efforts here, which was really quite special. So we won't tease that too much. It'll be just hang around for a few more minutes here. We'll play that, but. Yeah, I know we want to talk a little bit about what today means.
Yeah, Memorial Day. It's easy. It's easy for, I think, our society. It's especially easy for the mattress industry as a whole to kind of forget the reason for the season, so to say. Because it's become a big holiday savings month. And yes, we have specials going on. Check out our website, gardnersmattressandmore.com/sales for that. But to really put in focus what Memorial Day is about, I put some pen to paper and thought about it. And, today, right, really, we ought to, as people and, our friends and our neighbors, take a pause, right? Take a pause from those usual conversations and honor the fact that there's something bigger than ourselves today. There's service, there's sacrifice, there's the spirit of our American heroes who gave their lives for our freedom. That's what today's about. It's not really, we say Happy Memorial Day. I think reverence is probably a better way to think about today, remembering and honoring. It's not the unofficial start for summer so much as it is a way to have a solemn reminder of the freedoms that we enjoy and those who gave their lives to support them. We all live in our communities. We all live in this world together. It's for a reason, and there's been a lot in it. And next year we get to celebrate 250 years as a nation. But there's been a lot of sacrifice with that, and that's what Memorial Day is about. As a local business, we don't want to lose sight of that, so we just take this time to remind you of it. And remember the reason we gather today with friends and with family. So whether that's taking a brief pause, whether it's just speaking it out, whether it's a little prayer, a little moment you have looking at the American flag, looking back at family members and friends who sacrificed, we thank them for that sacrifice. If you have friends and family that have paid the ultimate price. So we wish you a solemn and memorable and honorable Memorial Day today.
Well stated. Well stated. Should we bring on our guest?
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah, let's bring on Jim Dornes. Jim Dornes is the incoming president of Off the Streets. Jim, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Jeff. Thank you. Well said.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the work you do with Off the Streets. Appreciate you being with us here today.
Yeah, and our favorite partner as well is Gardner's. So I'm happy to be here. You guys make a huge impact on not only our organization but the entire community with what you guys do for us regarding beds and stands and so forth. It means a lot. I think we've talked about it before, but I just want to reiterate how much you guys mean to our organization.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is a good transition because almost 2 weeks ago, you, along with about 8, I believe it was maybe 9 of you total, representatives and volunteers from Off the Streets, came to Gardner's. I knew you were coming, but I didn't know what it was, and it was a total surprise and shock to me what you presented us with, and we're going to share that here on Lancaster Connects. First, I want to read. You sent us you gave us a nice letter of recognition from Off the Streets, signed by the members who were here or the participants who were here. So I just want to read this. This is from, again, Off the Streets, from you, Jim, and your organization there. So, we, the volunteers of Off the Streets Lancaster, are indebted to you, Ben and Jeff, principals of Gardner's Mattress and More. You have impacted countless men, women, and children with gifts of new mattresses, frames, sheet sets, and pillows. We, Off the Streets, strive every day to bring respect, dignity, and hope to all those we serve. We can think of no better way to do this than providing our marginalized neighbors with their own comfortable bedding for the most restful sleep some have experienced in recent times. We are grateful for your care and thoughtful response to those who serve, who have experienced homelessness. The mayor of Lancaster City is also grateful. May you both be blessed 100-fold. And this was signed by Don Cronauer, who I believe is maybe the founder of Off the Streets Lancaster, and president that is leaving that position, which you're taking over.
He's not the founder, but he is the current president.
Okay, yep, the current president, Don. And like I said, it was signed by other Off the Streets representatives and volunteers who were here. And it was really special to hear this being read and to receive this. But, you arranged for us recognition from Lancaster City, as referenced in this letter. And sitting right here beside me, here in the Lancaster Connect studio, is an official proclamation from the mayor, Deneen Sirachi, of the city of Lancaster. And we have a video that we're going to play here, recording this moment captured a couple weeks ago.
The letter expresses our appreciation for everything that you do and for the people of Lancaster. We're all so touched by it. And that's what that says. This is recognition and acknowledgement from the city of Lancaster. Well, as we reached out to the city, and the mayor has issued a proclamation to Gardner's Mattress and More. Whereas Gardner's Mattress and More has been locally owned and operated since 1990. Ben McClure and Jeff Giannicavo partnered in 2011, purchasing the business from Jim Gardner. And whereas Gardner's Mattress and More fully endorses and supports locally owned small businesses and small charities by highlighting them in their Lancaster Connects podcast. And whereas Ben and Jeff have been assisting the most vulnerable in our community by providing Off the Streets with mattresses and bed frames upon request. And whereas this year, Gardner's Mattress and More has committed to much more. They are providing the persons experiencing homelessness who are being assisted by Off the Streets new mattresses and folding frames on a regular basis. These frames facilitate deliveries up the stairways of old city homes. And whereas, in addition, Jeff and Ben have sourced and donated more than 164 sets of quality twin sheets and other bedding to make those served by Off the Streets more comfortable in their sleep environment. And whereas Jeff and Ben's unsolicited generosity has helped to make a difference in the lives of Lancaster's homeless community. Now, therefore, Deneen Sirachi, Mayor of the City of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, honors and thanks Gardner's Mattress and More for the services they provide to our community.
Wow.
And it's witnessed, signed, and sealed by the Mayor, Deneen Sirachi.
That's really cool. Thank you. Yeah, we wanted to bring you on. Obviously, we want to have a conversation about Off the Streets and talk about all the amazing work you're doing here. But I mean, thank you for this recognition. It's certainly not why we do what we do to support Off the Streets, but I know it was a touching moment for me. Jeff, I'm sure you feel the same way watching that video. And what even made it more special is Jim Gardner, the founder of Gardner's, was in the room by chance. He's a Florida resident now, and he happened to be in town for the weekend and stopped by, and he was in the room too. And I know he was touched by it to have his name associated with this recognition. So, thank you to you, Jim, and the Off the Streets organization for arranging this recognition from the city of Lancaster. It's really pretty cool and special.
You're welcome, and it's well deserved. And I thought it was cool when Jim was there as well. I think you guys were a little shocked for a little bit, but you know, and I say this to other people regarding this partnership with you guys with beds and frames. Um, it's we love it as a product, unbelievable. We appreciate all that, but I think people don't understand what it means for you guys to actually provide beds to these folks that are coming out of homelessness and into permanent living. These people don't have beds. There's kids that are 4, 5, 16, whatever, and parents that they're all sleeping on a blow up mattress in the living room. Uh, we have kids that cry when they say, Mommy, I have a bed. And if you think of that in bigger context, these kids today are coming home from, maybe even if they aren't in school or in school, where are they coming home to? Living in a car. They don't have to feel a family. And I just think having a bed makes you feel like you're coming home to a family of security, some dignity. You're not sleeping on a blow up mattress. And, in that context, I think what you guys provide to the community and to Off the Streets is one of the most important things and valuable things that we do for the clients here in Lancaster.
But no, I mean, Jim, we're happy to be a small part of it. We talk about this often on the show with all of our wonderful charities and people who are helping Lancaster be an amazing place to live and enjoy. And that's, donations are important for any charity. Giving is important, but it's the people affecting the mission, bringing about the change. So that's the volunteers moving in. We're grateful for them. We're grateful for you picking up that torch as the new president. We're grateful for it's Father Mike that started Off the Streets, correct? So I have that right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Deacon Mike.
Deacon Mike, yeah. And so, we're grateful for all of that. Connecting with Lena over the years and having that personal friendship. And, I'm going to butcher it. The gentleman and couple that own the orthopedic group that's a great benefactor, and they hosted the party at Extra Give night.
Yeah, the
Howards, yeah. We're a small part. We're grateful for your recognition, but man, there's just so many more people. I think your van that was just on screen was donated. Um, you know, I guess what I'm sharing in this is everyone's got a part to play. And if you're listening and watching, and you're not giving back to the community you live in, maybe money's not in the cards, but maybe your time can be. Maybe your talents can be. So think about what motivates you. Think about where you see need in your neighborhood and or in your city or county, and find a place and look. And if you're struggling, look over our channel. We have a lot of great charities we've shown, and if Off the Streets is one of those you're passionate about as we are, please reach out.
Yeah, there's not a lack of impact or time or effort that you could put in the community out there. There's so many things you can do. So many little things make a difference. So, and to your point, we feel the same way. We're just this piece of the homeless puzzle,
Yeah.
right? And we have our little piece that we provide, but we don't provide housing, we don't provide transportation, we don't provide food and those types of things. But what we do provide, the services we provide, are very important, and they're kind of that last piece of the puzzle where we help them get into that permanent living and become a family unit again. So, we're proud of what we do, but again, it's all just being part of the puzzle and doing what you can do to help the community.
Yeah. Well, it's in the hierarchy of needs, housing and shelter is number one. Safety, housing,
Absolutely.
shelter is number one. For some, that comes last. So, we kind of shared with people so far, what Off the Streets does. What have we left anything out of what Off the Streets does? Like when you say secure housing, why don't you share exactly what that looks like? Like where does Off the Streets step in to help secure that for these folks?
So how this works? We have what we call input managers. So we get requests. We deal with it's upwards of 30 or more social services organizations here in Lancaster County. So they have the clients. They do a lot of behind the scenes vetting, understanding the scenarios, and they reach out to us with referrals. And within those referrals, they've already found housing. We don't find them housing. But we take the next step and we provide that security deposit for them to actually move in and sign that lease. Um, the biggest challenge, and you said it's shelter and housing, but you know, there's really two big challenges for these folks. Is number one is the finances. They have jobs. 60% of these people are working one or two jobs. They can afford the rent moving forward, and we make sure we vet that and we know that and the social workers know that as well. But they don't have that upfront 2 to 3 times that first month rent
Yep.
to plop down on and get into the apartment or whatever it may be. So that's the role we play there.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's vital to get, it's a hand up, right? I often use that phrase. So many people need a hand up, not a handout. And I think if our society looked at folks just looking for a hand up in that way, as opposed to looking down on them as though they're asking for a handout, we would have a lot of different feelings about our neighbors, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's I was get to it here with all these questions that Ben sent me. But it's a great point you just made, is because from our side of things, we're dealing with these people that, they didn't ask for this journey, right? I don't know, any way they can get into it, and we're helping them get out.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing they need is they need our respect. They need us to be non-judgmental, um, and be compassionate and give them a sense of dignity as they move forward and have a new beginning. And that's what really makes our organization special is they're the type of people we have. No one's judgmental of these folks. We don't really care how you got there. We just want to know that you're there and we're going to help you get out of that situation.
Yep.
Jim, you mentioned you're providing them with a security deposit to move into the housing that's been arranged for them, but you're also providing the furnishings because somebody coming out of homelessness might not have the furnishings. Obviously, we're helping out. Gardner's Mattress and More is helping out with the mattress side of things, but there's all kinds of things that are needed inside a home to make it feel like a home. And we're talking, living room, bathroom, kitchen, all those supplies. You're helping furnish the homes to make it feel like a home, correct?
Yes, sir. Just to give you an idea, we do 3 individual moves every Saturday of the year. That means either 3 individual families, 3 individuals, whatever it may be. And they're anywhere from large moves where we have multiple, we've had up to 7 beds, couches and everything you think about when people move into a facility and they have nothing. And you hit the point too, Ben, is yes, we give them money to get in there, but an empty apartment doesn't feel like a home.
Right.
Doesn't give them stability and dignity. So, we make sure that, with you guys, it's great because everything's brand new and it's an amazing product. But we make sure we get donations all week, every week, and we make sure we only use the ones that have been gently used over time. They have to be good quality, in good condition. We will never send out junk to our clients. It's a matter of giving them good furniture that they can feel good about. And again, it goes back to respect and giving these folks their dignity with good furniture that they'll feel good about and make it a home.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned furniture and furniture donation, if somebody watching or listening has furniture available to donate, how do they get that to you? How does that work?
They go right on our website, otslancaster.gov, and there's a big thing that says donate. Click on that, and you can donate furniture. It'll come through as a email
Mm.
right to the intake folks like myself, and send it right over to our furniture donation team, and they'll set up the pickup, and we do pickups twice a week, every week. It's very simple,
That's
very streamlined.
that's amazing. So you'll go to a person's home who has items to donate and pick them up.
Absolutely,
That's great.
we have a pickup team that goes out 2 times a week, all throughout Lancaster County. We schedule those pickups as they come in. So, yeah, it's quite an endeavor to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is all the more reason that, I think our listeners and our supporters get it. I'll just say it. All the more reason that if you're going to have them expend people energy, volunteer energy, hard costs of wear and tear on their van, in fuel, um, please make sure it's something you would enjoy receiving in a situation where you're coming out of homelessness into secure housing that
Exactly.
meets the standards of gently used. Um, because I didn't know you went around and picked up. That was new information to me. I mean, I knew you had the van in vehicles. I kind of just in my head was thinking that was for move-ins. But it of course makes perfect sense that it's for pickups because you got 6 other days in the week, right? Um, so yeah, that's
Yeah,
what.
and we're flexible in that way. We have, the volunteers we have, and I know we'll talk about volunteers in a little while, but I mean, they're just amazing people, and we have folks that need things today, and there were times within the last 6-8 months where our deliveries were back 3 to 4 weeks. So we would go meet them at the warehouse and actually have them bring a truck, and we'd help them load it, and they'd come pick up their furnishings. We do the same thing with people that want to drop off their donations. We'll meet them over at the warehouse, take care of that, and let our warehouse group work with them. So we're pretty flexible. We got a lot of great guys that are and people and volunteers that can, wear a lot of hats and do a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's up on the page. Ben, I'm going to jump ahead in our question list because Chris, you've got it up on the page about volunteers. Says attention, heavy lifters needed. Let's talk about some of these roles of volunteers. So again, this goes back to if treasure, time, talent, and treasure we talk about. So if donating isn't in your budget, time is equal to all of us. I don't really care what your economic status is. Everybody's got the same 24 hours in a day. So if you want to volunteer, we have on the screen here, obviously, if you can pick things up and put things down and do that heavy lift, that's great. Jim, why don't you share some of those other volunteer opportunities and maybe the most needed ones beyond the heavy lifters?
Yeah. So as you look at our, I think if you sit back and most people would think, oh, yeah, these guys work with social services, they write a check and deliver furniture, right? But as everybody says, it takes a village, and we have a lot of people that make this thing work. We have previewers. Every week, they're assigned to the 3 moves that are happening the next Saturday. They actually will visit the client. They'll actually take a look at their dwelling, what furniture will fit, what do they actually need? Do they need more than they thought they needed? Household items, all those types of things. They get to know the family. How old are their children? How many do they have? Those types of things. And then those folks will go back to the warehouse and actually um, pull those needs out, the furniture, and stage it and mark it for the 3 moves. So it's organized on Saturday when we come in and make the moves. So it's a hard job. There's people work really hard, and they're really, really the lifeblood of getting these moves, organized and on time and all that type of thing. And then, I talked about the people the truck people that pick up. That's one thing people that have time and during the day could help with. We have a couple guys that do it. A lot of things that they pick up are heavy, from dressers to, whatever it may be, and that's a big area as well. We have volunteers that run the warehouse. All these donations that the pickup guys are making come back to the warehouse. We have a group of warehouse folks that bring it in, they organize it, they clean it, they vacuum it, and again, to your point, they make sure that it's good, solid furniture that we'll be proud of to put in front of our clients. So they play a key role as well.
Yeah.
Um,
If
so then we
Do you ever, does your volunteer crew ever like tune up the furniture? Like if a drawer slide needs a little attention, screw that in place, that kind of stuff?
we do. We have
So there's a good volunteer
people.
opportunity.
Yeah, we have people that will refinish a good piece of furniture that is just damaged from a finish standpoint. We will fix legs and that type of thing if it's worth it, if it's quality. Yeah, so we will. We have people that they have come in every week on their own time, and they have a furniture, and whatever they do for us is great. They'll take it home. We have folks that can reupholster
Mm.
chairs, and they'll do that as well. So yes, and again, it's everybody just works hard and does whatever they can to help the cause.
Love.
How many volunteers do you have, that maybe volunteer at Off the Streets?
I would say, not counting the volunteers that come on Saturdays, probably somewhere in a neighborhood of 30 to 40, 30 to 35. There's multiple teams of previewers, as you know, and but then on Saturdays we get another group of volunteers from everywhere, from the church, family, friends, sports teams, you name it, or people just want to go on and volunteer. My wife and I recruited 4 couples of our good friends, and they love it. They really feel like they're impacting the community. So we'll get anywhere from 8 to 10 to 20 volunteers show up on a Saturday. And we have a woman in our organization, Stephanie Howard, who you mentioned earlier, that ran the Fulton party on Extra Give. She's in charge of volunteers, so she schedules all those volunteers, and she also is the person on the website that you had up a little while ago when you wanted to volunteer. Push on volunteer, and her information will come up, and she handles all the intake of new volunteers as well.
Yeah.
So Jim, if somebody is available on a Saturday to volunteer their time to help move a family into their new home, what does that time commitment look like? When do you get started? How long does a day look?
So we meet over at our warehouse, which is in the Borough Industrial Center. And we start at 9. That's when the truck captains will coordinate all the volunteers, take a look what the moves look like. Is there one big one, 2 big ones, 3 small ones, that type of thing? It's their job and their responsibility to coordinate the moves. We're usually back to the warehouse or back in our cars going home by noon. It really depends on the size of the move and how we can coordinate it the best we can with multiple teams going to one move, that type of thing. But we're usually done no later than noon.
Yeah. You said something about teams of volunteers coming in. I would add on that, if you're a business and you build volunteering time into an employee benefit, wherein you allow your employees and team members to take time off to volunteer, great opportunity, I think, to get that time in, but also add in that perspective of just how blessed maybe your team is in the work they do, that provides a great life for themselves and their families, and really see how some other people live in life and where they are in their journeys. I think that's a great 1-2 punch of accomplishing that volunteerism, also understanding how blessed most are in our world, and that there are bigger issues out there than maybe I can't log into my email today, or I got to do this task today that I don't want to do. I think a great opportunity. And I'm reminded, Ben, we had that time a teacher from Lancaster, McCaskey, reached out about a student that was groggy, and come to find out this kid's sleeping on the floor. Jim, you referenced this, right? Sleeping on the floor is not home. Well, sleeping on the floor in the corner of a bedroom that had a nasty roof leak, and you literally saw black mold coming down the wall in the corner and on the carpet, and that's where this child's sleeping. Um, that was eye opening to us, and so we made we made that happen in that request. Um, we all know sleep is important, but home is important too. It's even more
Right.
important, and you guys are making that happen. So thank you again. As we kind of shift our focus to the impact, I'll kick off with this. I forget. I don't know which volunteer role this would be, but some of your volunteers on move-in days, um, they make the home really special. Maybe by organizing the kitchen, organizing the bathroom. And I remember a story. I think it was at the extra give night, where all the volunteers and donors gathered, where a story was told about how the move-in was made so special because the kitchen was complete, um, with some spices and some food, or the bathroom was complete with some toiletries, or the bed was made and there was a nice lamp. Like, that's the level of touch and care your organization goes to. Um, so I'll pass it to you to say, what have some of those impacts been? Like, what's been eye opening to you that Off the Streets does for the people you serve?
Um, these volunteers, I think, are, it just shows when they're in front of these people that they are really passionate about our mission of what we're trying to accomplish,
Yeah,
and they're community focused, and they want to make a difference. And you're right. We go into these places, and we have the heavy lifters and the guys are carrying all this stuff, but then we have a group with the ladies and even some of the men that are we're making up the beds, putting all that on, the bed sheets, everything. Like you said, they're setting up the bathrooms. Um, we have we build special kits within the warehouse for household items,
mm,
cleaning items, those types of things for the kitchen. Like you said, spices it may be. We work with the food hub and some other folks that will put together kits for with food. So when we leave, we can't get the people out quickly because they have to make it perfect. They want the
sure.
lamps in the right place, the furniture's all in the right place, the beds are all put together, the beds are made, the bathroom's all put together, the kitchen is all put together, um, all the boxes are taken away, and these people are ready to live in their home and enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, that is. I mean, Ben, you and your family had a time, not out of any financial strain, but as a growing family in transition, and you were in in the type of housing you were looking for. You moved a bunch of times.
We
Like,
moved a few times.
how nice would it have been in all those times of moving, that like on move-in day, it was exciting to move in, and the house and the beds are made and set up, and the kitchen and the bathroom is set up.
Yep,
Like, that's really nice what Off the
that
Streets is
doesn't
doing.
happen when you move yourself, that's for sure. The dudes that help you move are there for the pizza and the drinks, and they move the stuff in and they're out, right? That's not the off the streets experience for sure.
But it's interesting because obviously the folks that live there get emotional when we do all that type of thing, but um, the movers themselves get just as emotional as the client does. To see the reactions of not only the adults but the children. I talked to Lena yesterday for quite a while about some different stories, and we were going through some that we were together, and just you just start. It is really an emotional time. And you see people, you look in their eyes, and they're like, "Wow, a new beginning." I mean, you guys, I can't say enough of what you did for us, and it's quite an organization. I'm really proud to be part of it. I guess that's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is Jim? What's the ripple effect for these families that you're providing, financial help to, and of course, fully furnished home? What's the ripple effect for these families in their community, in their neighborhood? Maybe you could speak a little bit to that.
Yeah, obviously when you look at the last year, well, since 2013, we've helped about 5,700 people move into permanent housing. So the impact in community is amazing. And individuals have different great stories about their impact and their journey from homelessness to having a home of their own. And we like to tell some of those stories. But the impact of the actual folks there is, again, I go back to the children. They've been living in cars, they've been living in these low rent hotels, wherever they may live in, but they're not coming home to a bed, they're not going to school. So just getting into an apartment with a bed, with a parent that now isn't stressed out over where we're going to get our next meal and where me and my kids are going to sleep tonight. She can take care of her children, make sure they're in school, are they doing their homework, and she can concentrate on herself as well. How can I be better? Do I want to go take some classes? That type of thing. So just the fact of having these people and helping them move into a home really impacts their life in general in a whole, right? It's hard to say.
Yeah.
So I'll give you one quick anecdotal story, which is kind of the woman actually came in and spoke to us last year, and it's amazing. Is um, there was a woman, she was married 18 years, and she has 5 kids. On that 18th year, her husband came to her and said, "You're out of the house and take the kids with you." So she was virtually homeless with her kids. I think they lived in a hotel for about 6 months. She reached out to a social provider. They reached out to us. They were able to find an apartment. We secured the monies for security deposit, and we furnished the entire apartment with for the 5 kids and the mother. Um, and from there, she got all 5 kids right into school. She's working full time, and she's taking classes at night for nursing school. So we hear from her. She tells her whole journey. She then applies and qualifies for Habitat for Humanity to get a home. So her and her family, I know there are requirements. I don't know if you probably do, but you have to work, right? You have to help build your own home. So they spent a lot of time doing that. And at the end of the day, today is living in her brand new home with her 5 children. They're still in school, and she's graduating from nursing school come this fall. So it's an amazing story. Such a powerful woman, courageous, and it's a great story. And to help people like that just makes you feel darn good.
I mean, when you talk about ripple effect, 5 children who will grow up, who will likely have their own families, that now get to undoubtedly come back to grandma's house down the road, or as maybe housing changes because of the security of went to nursing school, which is a great job with great benefits. I think this is the same story I heard at your extra give party, unless there's another one, which I'm sure there is, helping 5,700 people.
Yeah, there are a lot
Yeah.
of really touching
But man,
stories.
you talk about ripple effect. I mean, this isn't ripple effect, what you just shared. It's generational change. And it comes off of setting up security and first month's rent, setting up a nice home that's safe, and that hand up. That's awesome. It's so cool that you're doing it.
Yeah, thank you.
That was that one.
Jim, I'm wondering, as we kind of shift into talking about how the community can support, we talked about furniture donations, household item donations, upcoming events and fundraisers that the community can get involved in. Do you have any coming up?
Yeah, we have some interesting things right now. Number one, as you know, the Extra Give is our big fundraiser. And that'll be coming up probably late fall, early winter. But right now we have one of our big partners is Hearts Physical Therapy. So on Facebook right now, if you go to look at my notes real quick, off the streets now, Lancaster on Facebook, you'll come up to Hearts Physical Therapy is awarding 2 $2,500 grants to 2 of the 4 organizations that are actually they're whittled down to. and OTS is one of them. So we're asking everybody to go on Facebook, vote for OTS. The $2,500 doesn't seem like a lot, but that's anywhere from 3 to 4 individuals or families with security deposits to get them into permanent housing. So it means a lot. So that's one. There's another one called Community Aid. They're over off of Columbia Avenue. And what they do, they take donations of things that we don't, like clothing, shoes, pictures, mirrors, all that type of thing. And there's a number of 50312. If you donate those things and give them that number, about 20% of the dollar of what it's worth comes back to Off the Streets. And they also provide us with $25 gift certificates for their store to give to our clients that have families to come in and buy the clothing, the shoes, and those types of things for the kids.
That's fantastic.
So,
Yep.
yeah, it's a great thing.
I've got, as I've been home here helping my wife through her rehab process, my schedule's beginning to get back to normal. And one of the things is my wife's wardrobe's going to have to completely change over. So we have, and then I've got a teenage son that is like just growing and growing and growing. We have 4 big garbage bags of clothing, and they're reserved for your number at CAP. Not CAP, Community Aid. Sorry, Community Aid. So the big Community Aid center off of Good Drive and Good Drive in Columbia, right?
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So go.
That's awesome. Appreciate that. That's big. And that's what we want people to think of, right?
Yep. So donate there. I think you'll probably still get your donation slip for your taxes. And Off the Streets, please don't quote me to that, but Off the Street, you'll at least give and get a number for Off the Streets to get their contribution back when they sell the stuff. And it's just what a great perpetual thing to help. And there's just a simple opportunity to clean your home, get rid of some stuff that's good that Community Aid can use, and it benefits Off the Streets, and it benefits the people who come through Community Aid stores.
Yeah, absolutely. You think of these families with, the children, like you're talking about, that grown out of, they grow so fast. You're buying them wardrobes every other year. Think about the children that don't have the clothes, right? That these people can go in there and shop. And they give them the prices are, I forget what they are, but they're really affordable. And then we give them $25 gift certificates, go in and buy clothes as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great thing. And you get back to it. It's just somebody thought about that. How can I impact it doing this, this, and this? And it's time and effort, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah. So Ben, I'll kind of take the lead since I know it's busy there at the store and a little loud in the background at times. It's the problem of hosting a community podcast in your store that helps to support the efforts of the community podcast. But at any rate, I hope you all can forgive us. As we're looking to wrap up our time, Jim, as incoming president, obviously your heart's aligned with the mission. But where's your mind taking you? What do you see as things you want to bring to Off the Streets to further that impact? What are some of the things you want to tackle?
So, you said the one thing is we, like any other new leadership person that comes in, is we really continue to need to focus on our mission. That has to be number one. But currently, when you look at the environment here in Lancaster County with, homelessness has increased almost 14% from last year to this year. So what does that mean to an organization like us? We need to grow. We need more donations. We need more partners. We're going to need more volunteers. We're going to need more warehouse space. As the need is out there, we want to make sure that we're growing proportionately so we can actually answer those needs that come about. We don't want to be at the point where we can't help folks coming through these social services. So, my goal is to be out in the community, try to foster more of the partnerships like we have with you guys, and continue to educate all the different institutions, companies, whatever it may be, on what we do and how we do it. It seems like as long as when we get in front of people and tell our story talk about the impact we've made on the community and individuals. They're all up in arms. They want to get involved, and they do get involved. So it's really up to us to educate more people, get our story out there, and that'll actually hopefully be a whole systemic system that says, we're going to get more monies, we're going to get more furniture, we're going to have more people signing up for volunteering and so forth. And that's kind of what we are focused on now. And then, as you guys know, as you grow, you need to take a look internally and what do the processes look like? How do we upgrade those, make things streamlined? So I'm looking at that as well. We have some needs internally from a warehouse standpoint. But yeah, that's the thing we're focused on. Again, just because kind of goes back to what are we seeing right now in the county and how do we position ourselves best to be able to make an impact?
Yeah. Yeah. I love that answer. Man, we've had some special people on the show that in the light of a number, it grew 14% in a year, which is big. Because there's 680,000 people thereabouts in Lancaster County. I think that's the number. I know it's a six. And so that's a big number. And so what I love about your answer is you didn't have an answer of kind of dismay or hopelessness. It was an answer filled with, I'm going to rise to the challenge. Our guest last week, on our last show, Aaron's Acres, we're going to rise to the challenge of helping the young adults beyond 21. So now we do programming 21 to 40. They started doing only programming for 5 to 9. David Lapp, Blessings Hope, his big goal, we're going to solve world hunger. It's just a math equation. Thank you for being one of the people that stares in the face of the challenge and says, I'm going to slay this giant. Love that you're doing it. Thank you, Jim. Yeah. Yeah. If you want to help Jim off the streets, all the great volunteers with what they're doing, please connect with them. YesLancaster.org is the main site. Go to Facebook, jump on their Facebook page, vote for that grant for Hearts Physical Therapy. If you have a choice in physical therapy, go to Hearts. They're supporting off the streets, right? Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all part of it. And listen, as I look at the list of people Hearts is helping, we've had them all on the show. They're all great people. I would say for you as a person, you know, off the streets, really, we showed that generational change that they can help them, but help where your heart take, right? We can't you click, and they're all great. And That's what's so wonderful about the people we have on this show is they're all great people. So yeah, thanks for being awesome, Jim. Ben, anything to add there?
No, I mean, it just unbelievable organization, unbelievable heart of the people, the volunteers, all of your efforts to, reduce homelessness in Lancaster County. It's amazing. I mean, we love supporting you guys, and you're doing just wonderful work, and we feel that through this conversation and through all of our interactions with everybody at Off the Streets.
Well, I really appreciate you having me on today to get the word out, continue to educate people out there, and again, I can't tell you how much what you guys do for the community means to us as an organization and the people out there regarding homes and beds and security and those types of things. So thank you for that, and look forward to continuing that partnership, and we can do great things.
Yeah, well, we're happy to do it. So thanks for being amazing. And say hi to Deacon Mike and Lena and Don and all the great people. We love them all. So
Will do.
we got one more little part of the show here. If you got a few more minutes, our connection cocktail. I think one of the things about charitable organizations is letting potential donors and volunteers get to know the person and the people who help. So I'll kick it off first. Do you have a favorite book, podcast, TV show you're enjoying right now?
I read a lot. I'm a big nonfiction guy. The Pattersons, the Sanfords of the world. all those types of things. I'll get in and I'll read a string of 22 books in a series, and I'll just rip through them. I think it's just a release to, you know, deal with something else versus the worst with what you go through every day. But I love to read and do a lot of different things. Golf, not very good at it, but I live on a golf course, so I almost have to golf. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's big family man. Got two boys and my wife, and my wife and I are really invested in this off the streets, and she's been active in it for since almost the beginning as well. She's an intake person as well as a previewer, and she does everything in between as well. So yeah,
Nice. Very
That's
nice.
awesome. All right. Question number 2. Let's talk about a dream vacation. Let's say you could go anywhere in the world. Cost isn't an option or anything. What's your dream vacation?
yeah. I thought about that last night. I was talking to my wife about that. There's so many. Well, I'd love to go to France because I'd love to go to Bordeaux and I'd love to go to Normandy. Um, I know a lot of folks and our friends are two couples are leaving in about 2 weeks to go over there, and they're all hell bent on they got to get to Normandy, and I'd love to get to Normandy and take all that in. So I think France, for one thing, and I've never been to France. I know maybe they don't like us there, but that's okay. Um, so that's one big one. Yeah, there's others. Croatia, just for the beauty, and people don't get to go there. Um, but I like history. I like that's why I think about Normandy and I think about Germany, what happened there,
Yeah.
and just to learn about what it got us to where we are today and what people you know had to give up, their lives and whatever there may be. And Jeff, you spoke about it to start it, and that's kind of makes you feel good when you're visiting those types of places.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
A cool tie into today. Yeah.
Very fitting mention for how we think of Memorial Day for sure. Um, for sure. All right. Last one.
Oh,
Your favorite local spot in Lancaster. So this could be coffee shop, restaurant, a park, or a hidden gem that, if it's a hidden gem, maybe share it, but maybe you don't want to because it's a hidden gem.
yeah. I don't want you guys there tomorrow. So no, there's such, there's great spots, but my wife and I like to go to Belvedere. It's a great place, great environment. The food is great, but it's just a good night out. So we love Belvedere, and there's some other, even Lancaster Coffee Co. When we're going for lunch or go for breakfast real quick, we'll just, it's quiet. You can talk. You can, it's a great place to go and just relax and think about the good things. So I would say those two are kind of go-tos.
Very good. Very good. Jim, pleasure getting to know you there a little more intimately, but really great to know you for all the work you're doing for Off the Streets and the way you're helping those people there. People watching, if you connect to what we're doing, what Off the Streets is doing, please reach out to them. OTSLancaster.org is the place to get started. There's volunteer meetings. You can call them. You can email them. You can donate to them, even if it's dropping off good items at community aid. Use their number. That's going to be on their website, the number to give there. Get connected. Off the Streets is doing important work that you might not see payoff today, but boy, those families and those kids they help might be somebody you work with in a few years, might be somebody your kid goes to class with and you make a great friendship. They are making ripple change, generational change, and it's all very, very important. So Jim, thank you. Thank you to you and your volunteers for all the work you do.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. And again, I appreciate your efforts as well. And again, thanks for having me on today. It was fantastic.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Even though I was a little bit of a technical challenge, but
That's okay.
I think it turned out.
That's okay.
It was a great show.
All right. Thanks, Jim.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Another great one, Ben. Thanks for getting Jim on the show. And I would just wrap up our time here. As I said, supporting Hearts Physical Therapy because they're supporting Off the Streets. If I could make I don't know, I guess a crass plea on Memorial Day, um, you'll come to Gardeners because you believe in what we're doing with this show. You believe in the people we're bringing to you, the time we're giving to them. This isn't free. Our amazing producer, Chris, he needs to be paid for his time. The equipment that we have and maintain to put on a good show. If this matters to you, you'll do business with Gardeners Mattress and More, and we'd love for that to happen. We'll treat you right. We'll treat you like family. Our reviews say that. Um, and we'd love to be able to help you wake up happy and help you with that next mattress purchase. Remember the reason for today on Memorial Day. And also, I hope you have a lot of fun getting together with family and enjoying that freedom and time. That's what I would share. And we've got all the specials. We've got great specials on our website. We even have a free, for the first time ever, free adjustable bed base upgrade opportunity. That's on our website. So check that out. May is a great time to invest in yourself and in a new mattress.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just, kind of maybe wrap up with a testimonial here that echoes a lot of what you just said with a, really simple statement. We always ask our customers how their overall experience with Gardeners was, and would you refer others? And this person recently said, we always try to support family-owned small businesses. Thank you. We love our bed. So, I mean, that's it in a nutshell, right? We're trying to make our customers, or help our customers, wake up happy every morning, and by providing great service, great product, great experience. But we very much appreciate that our community gives us the opportunity to earn their business. And they have a passion also for supporting small businesses. So that's what we're talking about there: supporting Gardeners, supporting all the other family-owned and operated small businesses in Lancaster community, especially our small nonprofits like Off the Streets, and those who also support Off the Streets like Hearts Physical Therapy. So, Chris had that on the screen. I want all four of those organizations to win. Like you said, we've had at least three, maybe all four of them on the show. It's a tough one to, recommend one or the other, but they're all doing fantastic work there.
I kind of felt the need for diplomacy there in that moment. Like when we've had like Ed Harris of Discover Lancaster, we're like, well, say your favorite spot. And we're like, well, he's the guy that directs all of tourism for Lancaster. You're putting him on the spot to name one place. He's going to make everybody else upset. If you felt it, I tried to balance everything of who you should vote for. And really, it is your heart that drives your vote. But, Off the Streets does amazing work. And they'll certainly put that grant to great use. But you would choose to support Hearts because they're demonstrating how they give back. And I think that would be what we wrap up with. Anytime you're choosing to do business with somebody, really discern where's your purchase going. Yes, you're making the exchange, that product for your dollars or that service for your dollars, but how do your dollars go back into the community? Or is it just a business that exists in your community? And, I would humbly put forth to our listeners and our watchers, we're demonstrating that right here. The proclamations on the side of Ben, we do that with Off the Streets. We find a way to say yes to almost everybody that makes a request of us. We rarely turn things away. And that would be what I would challenge you to do is do businesses with people who appreciate and support the community that supports them.
Well said. Well said. Yeah.
All right.
Great show.
Another good one. We only do good ones.
Well, that's true. We've got a handful of great shows coming up here, and then a 200th
next month
special show for Lancaster Connects 200.
I guess that's 4 from now, right? Something like that. 3 or 4 from now. About middle of June. So looking forward to that one. So, all right.
Hey,
see you next time.
Connection, right?
That's right. See you, Lancaster.